Welcome, Metalheads, to another edition of Friday 13th YouTube channel. I hope you're enjoying the reviews I've done so far and interviews. So today I've got a fantastic album review for you by German progressive power metal band Ancient Curse. Now the band are about to release their new album. It's called Dimensions 5 and it's coming on Puerto Records very, very soon. This is definitely the best album the band have done, so check out this review, folks, and enjoy. Ancient Curse were formed in 1987. Now, the band have released three previous album releases. The first one was an EP. It was called Thirsty Fields. This was roughly released in 1998. It's a great EP, but was later on re-released with bonus tracks. In 1997, the band released their second album called The Landing. This was a really cool album, progressive German metal. Kind of reminded me of bands like Ivanhoe. Now, the music kind of reminded me of a cross between Siege's Eve and Fate's Warning and a little bit of Watchtower, with the vibe of Queensryche album, probably Rage for Order or Operation Mancram. Also, not to mention a couple of other bands, Mekon Delta, and a very small hint of Psychotic Waltz. Now, I thought the second album, The Landing, was a really, really good second album. It showed how the band were progressing in writing and also recording. Now, the second album had more Fate's Warning in it, so if you're a fan of Fate's Warning like myself, you're going to enjoy this album. Now, the band released their third album. This was called The New Prophecy. This was released in 2020. It's a great album and a slightly different approach to the two previous releases. The last album reminds me of a cross between Nevermore and also Brainstorm from Germany. And also a hint of a band called Ghost Ship Octavius. It's a really interesting album, very heavy in places. And this new album is pretty similar. It's very progressive, very technical, with some fantastic vocals and music all around. So, like I said, the first EP by the band was called Thirsty Fields, and that would feature Thorsten Penz on bass guitar. We'd have Matthias Schröder on drums, Gunnar Erxleben on guitars, and on guitar and vocals, we'd have Pietrzinski on guitar and vocals. That would be the lineup for the EP. And this would also feature the same lineup for the band's first debut album, The Landing. And the band's last album, The New Prophecy, would also feature the same lineup. So they've got a pretty steady lineup here. So this new album contains 9 songs. I'm going to tell you what the song titles are, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the album. The opening track is called Forevermore, followed by Ava Marie, Isolation, the title track Dimensions 5, Deny and Destroy, Tunnel Vision, In Memoriam, Dreaming of Lucikia, and Paranoble Coincidence. So that's the titles for the album, so I'm going to talk about the first song. Now, this song starts off with a very mellow beginning, kind of an intro, but it soon builds up to a really heavy song with some very technical parts. Now, I have to say, this band reminds me of more US power metal or US progressive metal. Bands such as Power of Omens, 0 Hour, Mystic Force, Lethal. It's got that, the band have kind of got that vibe, but they're still very much European. Now, vocalist Peppy is an absolute fantastic singer. It doesn't really sound German. It's got that American influences, you can certainly tell. And this album is going to be released on the 25th of October this year. Now, if anything, this song kind of reminds me a little bit of Nocturnal Rites from Sweden, with the heaviness at times of Nevermore or even Sanctuary. Now, I have to say that the album review was absolutely fantastic. It was done by Matthias, who's the drummer. As you can see in this review, it's really, really futuristic. It's set up in space, and it's really, really great graphic artwork. Another band that springs to mind is either Suncage and also the band Dark Waters. Now, the next song is called Eva Marie. This is a really cool song. It's very atmospheric with a big choir orchestra, which really makes it sound interesting. This kind of reminds me of the heaviness of Camelot, and also a band from Sweden called Dark Water. At times, it's very mystical and very Egyptian sounding. There's a lot of twists and turns in this song with some fantastic vocals and some really thought out music. Production is absolutely amazing on this album. Now, the next song is called Isolation. It's a beautifully composed song. At times, it kind of reminds me of Psychotic Waltz, more with the later side of Psychotic Waltz's music. Next is the title track, Dimensions 5. This is a really cool song, and at times it has the choir or the orchestral arrangements of something that Hammerfall would do. So this song reminds me of either two bands. You could either think of Eidolon or Withering Scorn, just for the heaviness. Most of this album pretty much sounds like those two bands, but it does have other elements of progressive bands too. It's pretty unique for what they're doing, guys. It's really some catchy songs, and it's pretty hard to describe who they sound like, but I'm very impressed with this album. Now, if you think the last album was a fantastic album, you've not heard anything yet. This is definitely the best album that the band's done so far. So, if you are a fan of progressive metal or power metal combined together, this is a fantastic album. It's by Ancient Curse. It's called Dimensions 5. and it's going to be released on El Petro Records. So I'm going to give this album 5 out of 5. I think the music's fantastic, some amazing singing here, and the artwork for the album is brilliant as well. All around, it's a classic power progressive metal album. So folks, check it out. I'll leave you a link so you can check out a song from this album. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, please subscribe. Take care, metalheads. Speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.